Top Trump allies Elon Musk and Marjorie Taylor Greene are not only spreading baseless election conspiracy theories, they're also potentially risking the legal wrath of the very company that defeated Fox News and forced them to pay $800 million after Fox News made similar statements. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, we have several clips to play in this video. Donald Trump's top allies like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Elon Musk are once again laying the groundwork for the notion that the only way Trump could lose the upcoming election if there's widespread voter fraud and sort of like election conspiracy theories. And they specifically mentioned Dominion voting systems, the company that forced Fox to pay them nearly $800 million in order to settle a defamation case that Fox apparently felt that they were going to lose. So with all that in mind, let's go to Marjorie Taylor Greene, and then we'll turn to Elon Musk.
Whitfield County, someone posted up that when they went to vote in Whitfield County here in Georgia's 14th district, now remember, we're a swing state, and we need everyone to vote in my district. And so they went to vote, and we have the Dominion machines. And you go through and you mark president, you mark, for Congress, that would be me. They marked Donald Trump, and they marked who they were voting for the rest of the way down their ballot on the machine. Then when they're finished, the machine prints their ballot, a paper copy, a printed copy, and each voter has to review that printed copy to make sure that it has selected the candidates that they want to vote for. And so when this voter printed their ballot and they looked, it had changed. It was not Donald Trump. It was not me. And it was not the other ones they had voted for. It had switched. And so they went up to one of the election workers and they said, here's the problem. The machine switched it, and my printed ballot, I did not vote for these people. So they had to start over, and they went through it several times, and it kept on making the same error, kept on switching the votes. And so this is something we're just starting to look into today, because I just found out about it this morning before I came on your show today. But we will be following up, and I'll be talking to election workers and officials here in the district and making sure that this happens, that these ballots are correct, because that's extremely concerning. It sounds similar to what we heard in 2020, but there's other things that I'm concerned about, Alex. Here in Georgia, we fixed our voting laws, but states that did not fix their voting laws is Pennsylvania, Arizona.
So again, not sure what she means by fix voting laws, other than that it makes it harder for certain cohorts associated with Democratic voters to vote. That's what she means by fix. She wants people who supervise elections to make it more difficult for coalitions and cohorts and demographics that are typically aligned with Democrats, make it harder for them to vote. But again, she mentioned in that ridiculous screed Dominion by name, and we'll get to the particular anecdote that she cited because there's a follow-up to it. But now I want to turn to Elon Musk. So they're going to play the clip. CNN does what Elon Musk says, but they also include a very important fact check. So we're going to play this and unpack it together.
All right, new this morning, people poring over the words from Elon Musk, the richest person in the world, who seemed to promote election lies and other falsehoods while stumping for Donald Trump at a solo town hall in Pennsylvania. CNN's Marshall Cohen here to explain. Good morning, Marshall.
John, good morning to you. Elon Musk, on his social media platform almost every single day, promotes election disinformation, but he took his show on the road last night for this first solo town hall on behalf of Trump, promoting Trump's campaign, where he brought up some of these 2020 conspiracy theories. I'll play for you a clip of what he said, but do not believe everything you hear. We will fact check it after the clip. Take a listen.
When you have mail-in ballots and no sort of proof of citizenship, it becomes almost impossible to prove cheating is the issue. There are some very strange things that happen that are statistically incredibly unlikely. So, there's always this sort of question of, like, say, the Dominion voting machines. It is weird that I think they're used in Philadelphia and in Maricopa County, but not in a lot of other places. Doesn't that seem like a heck of a coincidence?
All right, so there's three things here that I want to break down for you. Number one, he said with mail-in ballots, it's almost impossible to find fraud. That's completely false. All the experts I speak to say that the systems are in place. There are plenty of safeguards. It's actually pretty easy to find fraud, and fraud is extremely rare. Of course, mail ballots are paper trails. There's barcodes. Everything there is verified.
Could also be that the reason you don't see much by way of voter fraud is because there's not much. Maybe it's not because it's hard to detect. Again, as this fact checker is pointing out, it's actually relatively easy to detect. Perhaps the reason you don't see so much of it is because there's just not that much voter fraud to begin with. I don't know. Food for thought.
Number two, he said Dominion machines were in Maricopa and Philadelphia. So that's Phoenix and Philadelphia. Well, they were in Maricopa, but Dominion was not in Philadelphia, period. So he just got that one wrong. And number three, regardless of where there were Dominion machines, the results were accurate. Democratic and Republican officials from Phoenix and Philadelphia have both repeatedly said that the results were accurate. Everything was tabulated properly there. You know, John, it is interesting that Elon Musk picked a fight with Dominion. Of course, they're famous for getting that $800 million settlement out of Fox News for promoting similar lies.
Exactly. I'm not sure why Elon Musk, who's not particularly bright politically, would want to pick this particular fight. Fox News is one of the, most legally robust companies in existence. I mean, they're the biggest quote unquote news network in America, right? They have an army of competent lawyers. And the fact that they settled and paid $787 million to Dominion Voting Systems to avoid a defamation trial suggests that they were pretty confident they would lose that trial and Dominion would be able to get even more out of them. And $800 million is nothing to scoff at. Like, even Elon Musk would be loath to pay that much over. So I'm not sure why he would risk their wrath here. The Independent talks about this as well. Elon Musk and Marjorie Taylor Greene risked Dominion's wrath with revived conspiracy theories. More than a year after the company reached a record-breaking settlement with Fox News over similar claims, Elon Musk promoted a debunked conspiracy theory that suggested Dominion Voting Systems had manipulated the outcome of the 2020 election. And so they go through the example. The following day, Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia claimed the Dominion machine changed a voter's ballot in her district. Early voting in the state started this week. A spokesperson for Dominion told The Independent that the company's, quote, understanding from the county is this instance was a voter error and has since been resolved. So I want to be clear. That anecdote, that even if true would be one instance, is actually not true. That the county has confirmed to Dominion, hey, it wasn't your machine. It was actually the voter. The voter made a mistake. And so we have since resolved it. Quote, the false claim that voting machines can switch votes has been repeatedly debunked. And indeed, it has been. Dominion Voting Systems is pushing back against Elon Musk's comment tonight in Pennsylvania that echoed debunked voter fraud conspiracy theories. And again, this is from Dominion themselves in response to Elon Musk. Fact, Dominion does not serve Philadelphia County. Fact, Dominion's voting systems are already based on voter-verified paper ballots. Fact, hand counts and audits of such paper ballots have repeatedly proven that Dominion voting machines produce accurate results. These are not matters of opinion. They are verifiable facts. So says Dominion, and they're correct. But what's going on is Marjorie Taylor Greene and Elon Musk are well aware that Kamala Harris could win this election, that this is a coin flip election, and that Donald Trump is not a particularly well-liked or popular candidate, and the Republicans have presided over a string of defeats. Donald Trump lost the 2018 midterms. He lost the 2020 presidential reelection. He lost the 2021 Senate runoffs, his party. That's why Georgia was flipped from 2 Republican senators to 2 Democratic senators. The 2022 midterms were predicted a red wave, but it was actually just a pink trickle where Democrats expanded their Senate majority and Republicans barely got control of the House of Representatives, and it's been an abject disaster for them ever since. And the 2023 off-year elections were sweeps for Democrats. So all of these things being what they are, it's very possible that Kamala Harris becomes president. Again, the polls have tightened in large part because of right-wing pollsters skewing the aggregate. But again, there's no doubt this is an election that Trump could easily win, but so too could Kamala. And so rather than just deal with that and compensate by increasing your ground game, what Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Marjorie Taylor Greene are doing are trying to pre-frame this idea that the only way they could possibly lose is if there's shenaniganry involved, if Dominion voting systems is rigging the game against Republicans, if there's widespread voter fraud that they've never been able to prove. Elon Musk has never been able to prove. Marjorie Taylor Greene has never been able to prove. Donald Trump has never been able to prove. They always lose the debate. They always lose the argument. But rather than just raise their game, instead they want to spread lies in order to agitate their base. I should also say it's possible that Elon Musk may have broken the law in another way. Okay, so this is from Slate. With the upcoming presidential election so close, both sides are looking to motivate voters who otherwise might sit out the Trump-Harris contest to come to their respective side. Some of these recent attempted inducements have walked just up to the line of federal prohibitions on vote buying, and it looks like Donald Trump supporter Elon Musk may have just crossed it with his latest offer of free admission to his talks, but only to those who have voted in Pennsylvania. Federal law has prohibited providing payments or making expenditures to induce voting, whether or not the inducements are limited to those who might vote for a particular candidate. The Department of Justice's Election Crimes Manual explains that the law has been interpreted broadly. The bribe may be anything having monetary value, including cash, liquor, lottery chances, and welfare benefits such as food stamps, and it explains the reason for the prohibition. Those who choose to vote have a right not to have the voting process diluted with ballots that have been procured through bribery, and that the selection of the nation's leader should not degenerate into a spending contest, with the victor being the candidate who can pay the most voters. In the past, these prohibitions have tripped up civic-minded companies like Ben & Jerry's, which in 2008 wanted to offer free ice cream to people who showed I voted stickers. After I pointed out the likely illegality of the scheme, Ben & Jerry's shifted to providing free ice cream to everyone and not just voters, a sure win for ice cream lovers under the legal voting age. Similarly, efforts to give free pizza at polling places cannot be limited to just voters, so if you're hungry but already voted, plan to on election day or you're not eligible, you might want to hit up an early voting line, except in Georgia. And so they're offering the possibility that that Elon Musk may have broke the law to try to induce people to turn out to vote, obviously for Donald Trump. But going back to the voter fraud situation, I think it's a dangerous idea legally for them to provoke Dominion in this way, especially when Dominion has a pretty sizable notch in their belt, having taken down Fox News in this respect. And it just seems like they're potentially risking trouble for absolutely no reward. This will not have a material outcome on the election. Now, these lies may agitate the base for another January 6th style insurrection, and it may provoke bad faith election officers to try to not certify the vote for Vice President Harris should she win in certain districts. All of these things are true, but it seems like very little reward and a lot of risk. So not sure why they're doing it, other than the fact that just they're really stupid. When it comes to politics, Elon Musk is very stupid. He is proof that intelligence is not evenly distributed. You can be a brilliant engineer and have the worst political instincts in the world. You can have the best business acumen in the world, but be, again, a terrible person when it comes to political theory, political strategy. Savantism is real, having competence in one or two areas and not in others. Marjorie Taylor Greene just happens to be a dumbass, I think, no matter what the field is. But that's where we are. So Trump's top allies are once again spreading publicly conspiracy theories, and potentially risking the wrath of a company who will crush them in court if they cross the line. Food for thought. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.